The beloved Friends star was reportedly discovered dead.
You know, I don't dance at weddings.
Why not?
Because weddings are a great place to meet women, and when I dance, I look like this.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
It's been over 2 decades since Friends ended, yet the lives of its stars continue to fascinate fans worldwide. What really happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Did fame bring fortune or hidden battles behind the scenes? And how did the stars' careers take unexpected turns that few could have predicted? Today, we pull back the curtain to reveal the untold secrets and surprising new paths of the iconic cast. You've heard the headlines. Now discover the stories they tried to keep private. From shocking legal battles to personal struggles that shaped their lives. Jennifer Aniston played Rachel Green. Jennifer Aniston brought Rachel Green to life, the runaway bride turned fashion icon who captured hearts around the world. But Aniston's real-life story after Friends ended in 2004 has been far more complex than many fans realize. From professional triumphs to personal heartache, and from persistent media scrutiny to untold controversies, Jennifer's journey has been anything but smooth behind that polished Hollywood smile. First, there's her incredible career transformation. After Friends, Aniston refused to be typecast. She proved her versatility in both comedy and drama, starring in box office hits like Horrible Bosses, We're the Millers, and Murder Mystery, alongside powerful performances in films like Cake and the Yellowbirds. Her return to television with The Morning Show wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. The role earned her multiple Emmy nominations and critical acclaim, re-establishing her as one of the most respected actresses of her generation. But while her professional path seemed golden, the personal toll was undeniable. Aniston's private life was relentlessly picked apart by tabloids. The dissolution of her marriage to Brad Pitt in 2005 sparked endless headlines, fueled by rumors of Pitt's connection to Angelina Jolie. For years, no matter how hard she tried, Aniston found herself caught in the shadow of Brangelina, unable to escape constant comparisons and speculations about rekindled romances or hidden heartbreak.
What do you make of all the ridiculousness about you and Brad reuniting on all these carpets all season long?
It's hysterical, but what else are they going to talk about?
In interviews, she expressed frustration at being defined by her relationships rather than her work. As she once put it, the gossip became like an old leather shoe, worn out and tiresome but impossible to shake. But the scrutiny didn't stop there. Few people know about the deep rift that existed between Jennifer and her mother, Nancy Dow. Their estrangement lasted over a decade, rooted in painful childhood experiences and made worse when Dow published a tell-all memoir. The two eventually reconciled, but the emotional scars of that public family feud ran deep. And then there's the awkward chapter involving her ex-boyfriend Daniel McDonald. Aniston's offhand comment that he would have been the one drew sharp criticism from McDonald's widow, who accused Aniston of exploiting his memory for sympathy. That controversy was a reminder that even seemingly innocent remarks could ignite backlash. Through it all, Aniston remained resilient, but not without cost. She once confessed that navigating fame felt like trying to stay afloat in stormy waters. Yet her strength lay in reinvention, turning the painful chapters into fuel for new achievements. And Jennifer's story sets the stage for another star whose pursuit of perfection brought both acclaim and regret. What did Courtney Cox risk in her search for eternal youth, and how far did she really go? If you think this one is shocking, just wait. What's coming next will leave you speechless. Courtney Cox played Monica Geller. Courtney Cox was unforgettable as Monica Geller, the perfectionist chef with a heart of gold, whose obsessive cleaning and fierce loyalty made her a fan favorite. But when the final credits of Friends rolled in 2004, Cox's personal and professional life entered a period of major change, one filled with triumphs, setbacks, and revelations she never expected to share. Career-wise, Cox quickly proved she was more than Monica. She led the hit comedy Cougar Town, which ran for 6 seasons and even saw her step behind the camera as a director. She also explored the horror genre again, returning as Gale Weathers in multiple Scream sequels, including the 2022 and 2023 chapters that reignited the franchise. And yet, despite the success, there were moments that hinted at struggles behind the scenes. In 2010, production on Cougar Town came to a sudden halt. The official reason? A private family matter. Rumors swirled, and not long after, Cox and David Arquette announced their separation after 11 years of marriage. They framed it as an amicable split, but fans sensed deeper turmoil beneath the surface. Perhaps the most surprising revelations about Cox came from her own honest confessions regarding the pressures of fame and aging in Hollywood. Known for her beauty during the Friends era, Cox later admitted she went too far in her efforts to maintain a youthful appearance. What started with a little injection here or filler there spiraled into layers of cosmetic enhancements that left her feeling unrecognizable. In her own words, "The next thing you know, you're layered and layered and layered. I'd see pictures and think, oh, is that what I look like?" The realization hit hard, and she took drastic steps, dissolving her fillers and embracing a more natural look, determined to reclaim her identity.
You look in the mirror and go, oh, that looks good. You think, and you don't realize what it looks like to the outside person. I think I messed up a lot.
Behind the glamour, Cox faced personal heartbreaks that rarely made the headlines. The unexpected pause in Cougar Town production was a rare crack in the polished surface of her career, leaving fans and insiders alike wondering about the private challenges she was facing. Throughout it all, she remained dedicated to her daughter Coco, co-parenting amicably with Arquette and even reuniting with him on-screen for Scream, a testament to her strength and maturity. But Courtney's journey was just one thread in the complex tapestry of the Friends cast's post-show lives. If her struggles were largely self-imposed in the pursuit of perfection, what about the castmate who became entangled in legal battles and public disputes? Lisa Kudrow's Untold stories reveal a side of Phoebe's actress that might surprise you. Lisa Kudrow played Phoebe Buffay. Lisa Kudrow's portrayal of Phoebe Buffay gave Friends its quirkiest, most unpredictable character, a lovable oddball with a guitar, a heart of gold, and a song called Smelly Cat. But Kudrow's off-screen journey has been filled with challenges and revelations that contrast sharply with Phoebe's carefree vibe. From legal drama to deeply personal struggles, Kudrow's post-Friends life shows that even the funniest friend can have untold hardships. Professionally, Kudrow kept pushing creative boundaries. After Friends ended in 2004, she avoided being boxed in by the role that made her famous. Instead, she took risks, creating and starring in the critically acclaimed The Comeback, a satire of Hollywood's obsession with fame. She also led web therapy and took on key roles in Space Force and Time Bandits, demonstrating her knack for blending comedy with vulnerability. In film, she embraced everything from dark thrillers like The Girl on the Train to lighthearted fare like A Boss and Better Nate Than Ever. But even as her career flourished in fresh directions, Kudrow faced battles that few fans ever saw coming. One of Kudrow's most public controversies stemmed from a bitter legal fight with her former manager. In 2008, Scott Howard sued Kudrow, claiming she owed him residuals from her Friends' earnings. After a lengthy trial, a jury sided with Howard in 2014, ordering Kudrow to pay him $1.6 million. The drama didn't end there. In an unusual twist, the jury foreman wrote to Kudrow's lawyer, apologizing for the verdict and stating he believed the decision was wrong. Kudrow sought a new trial, but the shadow of the case lingered, a reminder of how success can breed unexpected betrayals and battles over money and loyalty. Beneath the public disputes, Kudrow also opened up about personal insecurities that haunted her during Friends. In 2021, she revealed the silent struggles she faced while filming alongside Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston. Kudrow admitted she often felt like a mountain of a girl compared to her co-stars, battling body image issues that led to unhealthy efforts to stay thin. The pressure took a toll on her health, leaving her sick more often than not. It was a candid, human moment from a star so often seen as unshakably confident. But Kudrow's resilience shines through. She has come to embrace her body and her age, rejecting the pressures that once caused so much stress. And as Kudrow's story reveals hidden layers behind Phoebe's smile, Another Friends star faced his own darker chapters. Matt LeBlanc's life after Friends was shaped by fame, fatherhood, and personal missteps that few could have predicted. Stay sharp. What's coming next is bigger than anything we've shared yet. Matt LeBlanc played Joey Tribbiani. Matt LeBlanc made Joey Tribbiani a household name, the lovable, clueless actor with a big heart and even bigger appetite. But while Joey's life was filled with laughter and charm, LeBlanc's post-Friends journey revealed complexities and struggles that fans never saw coming. Fame, fatherhood, and personal missteps shaped his path in ways that contrasted sharply with his on-screen persona. LeBlanc's career after Friends had its highs and lows. He attempted to extend Joey's story with the spin-off Joey, but the show failed to capture the original magic and was canceled after 2 seasons. Determined not to be defined by one role, LeBlanc stepped away from the limelight for several years. When he returned, it was on his own terms. His starring role in episodes, playing a fictionalized, exaggerated version of himself, earned him critical praise and a Golden Globe. He followed that success with Man with a Plan, showing audiences he could anchor a traditional sitcom with heart and humor. Yet beneath these professional wins, LeBlanc was quietly battling personal challenges that few fans knew about. Fame, as it turned out, wasn't always kind to LeBlanc. After Friends ended, the actor admitted he felt overwhelmed and burned out. The constant attention and pressure drove him to retreat from Hollywood, seeking peace and privacy on his California ranch. He described that period as a dark time, sharing that he came close to a nervous breakdown. But his focus shifted to his daughter, Marina, who was diagnosed as a baby with cortical dysplasia, a condition affecting her motor skills. LeBlanc devoted himself to her care, staying largely out of the public eye. Thankfully, Marina outgrew the condition by age 11, and LeBlanc has spoken of their deep bond as the greatest joy in his life. But not all of LeBlanc's off-screen headlines were heartwarming. In interviews, he admitted to youthful mistakes, including 2 DUIs, before his rise to fame. Later, his personal life became tabloid fodder, from his admission about a strip club encounter on a motorcycle trip to rumors that his relationship with Joey co-star Andrea Anders contributed to his divorce. In 2014, whispers of alleged infidelity at a Halloween party further complicated his image, though his representatives swiftly denied any wrongdoing. Through the ups and downs, LeBlanc's charm and talent kept him in the hearts of fans. His story is a reminder that fame can complicate even the most joyful lives. And while Joey's smile hid LeBlanc's struggles, David Schwimmer's own battles with fame and isolation revealed a more somber side of the actor behind Ross Geller, a side most never saw coming. Matthew Perry played Chandler Bing. Matthew Perry's Chandler Bing was the king of sarcasm, delivering punchlines that made audiences laugh for a decade. But behind the scenes, Perry's real life was far from the lighthearted sitcom world fans loved. His battle with addiction and the emotional fallout of fame turned his journey after Friends into one marked by resilience, regret, and ultimately, tragedy. While Friends was still on the air, Perry was already struggling. He later admitted there were 3 years of the show between seasons 3 and 6 that he couldn't even remember due to substance abuse. Painkillers and alcohol became his crutch as he navigated the white-hot flame of fame, as he once described it. He entered rehab twice during the show's run, once in 1997 and again in 2001. Perry always insisted he was never high at work, but confessed he was often painfully hungover. The weight of living in the spotlight while fighting a private war left him isolated, despite the camaraderie fans assumed existed off-screen. After Friends ended in 2004, Perry focused on rebuilding. He found steady work in both film and television, starring alongside big names in movies and leading shows like The Odd Couple, Go On, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. He also poured his energy into advocacy, helping others struggling with addiction. Perry opened a sober living facility and became a vocal supporter of recovery programs. His 2022 memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, offered unflinching honesty about his struggles and became a bestseller that resonated deeply with readers. But Perry's path remained turbulent. Health scares, including a life-threatening gastrointestinal perforation in 2018, tested his resilience. And in 2023, tragedy struck. Perry was found dead at his Los Angeles home. An autopsy revealed the cause as acute effects of ketamine, with contributing factors including drowning and coronary artery disease.
Actor Matthew Perry has died. The beloved Friends star was reportedly discovered dead in the jacuzzi of his LA area home this afternoon. Law enforcement sources told TMZ that first responders rushed to the address with the call first reported as a cardiac arrest.
His shocking death led to further revelations. Multiple individuals, including 2 doctors and his assistant, were arrested in connection with his accidental overdose. It was a heartbreaking end for a star who had worked so hard to overcome his demons. Perry's life serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the strength it takes to keep fighting personal battles in the public eye. His legacy isn't just Chandler's jokes, it's his willingness to share his struggles and try to help others along the way. As we reflect on Perry's untold truths, we turn to a friend whose charm masked his own challenges with fame and personal choices. Matt LeBlanc's off-screen story goes deeper than Joey's "How you doin'?" ever hinted. Don't miss the final reveal, it will have you seeing it all in a new light. David Schwimmer played Ross Geller. David Schwimmer's Ross Geller may have been the nerdy, endearing paleontologist at the heart of Friends, but Schwimmer's real-life journey after the show's success was far more complicated than fans imagined. While Ross chased dinosaurs and love on screen, Schwimmer wrestled with the isolating effects of fame, public backlash, and personal choices that set him apart from his co-stars. When Friends catapulted Schwimmer to international stardom in 1994, he quickly realized the downsides of instant celebrity. In a rare moment of candor on the Hollywood Reporters Awards Chatter podcast, Schwimmer admitted that being so recognizable altered his ability to live a normal life. His acting process, built on observing people and human behavior, became nearly impossible when he was constantly being watched. It was pretty jarring, he confessed. The sudden loss of privacy left him feeling trapped, and for years he struggled to adjust. Schwimmer often found himself retreating behind baseball caps, avoiding public places, and, at times, becoming something of a recluse. Despite his discomfort with the spotlight, Schwimmer worked hard to build a career that reflected his artistic values. He chose projects that allowed him to showcase different sides of his talent. His performance as Robert Kardashian in The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story earned him critical acclaim and reminded audiences of his dramatic chops. Schwimmer also explored directing, producing, and theater work, founding Chicago's Looking Glass Theater Company to pursue meaningful, off-the-radar creative projects. Yet, even as he focused on craft, Schwimmer couldn't entirely escape controversy. One of Schwimmer's most public dust-ups wasn't about his work, it was about his home. In 2010, when he bought and demolished a historic townhouse in New York City's East Village to build a modern mansion, neighbors were outraged. The backlash was fierce. Graffiti scrawled across the construction site declared, "Ross is not cool," and residents voiced anger at the destruction of local history. Schwimmer's attempt to create his dream home became a symbol, at least to some, of celebrity excess clashing with community values. Throughout it all, Schwimmer remained deeply protective of his private life, including his role as a father. After his divorce from artist Zoe Buckman, he continued to co-parent their daughter away from the media glare. His experience serves as a cautionary tale about the cost of fame and the lengths to which a star might go to reclaim normalcy. And with Schwimmer's hidden battles laid bare, we've now explored how all 6 Friends stars navigated the turbulent world beyond Central Perk. But what's next? Stay tuned as we wrap up with a powerful call to action and a look at how you can uncover more secrets from the stars you thought you knew. The cast of Friends gave us unforgettable moments on screen, but their real-life journeys have been filled with new careers, untold struggles, and surprising secrets. From the heights of fame to the challenges that came with it, these stars have shown resilience, growth, and complexity far beyond their sitcom roles. If you found these stories eye-opening, make sure to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the lives of your favorite stars. And don't miss the next video on your screen now, where we uncover even more behind-the-scenes truths from iconic shows.